In this video, I'm going to walk you through Google's brand new AI Studio, and we're going to use Gemini 2.5 Pro to build a complete bank statement OCR tool completely from scratch. And I'm going to show you the entire process from starting from a simple idea, iteratively adding new features like summarizing calculations and multiple file uploads, as well as fixing AI-generated bugs. And eventually, we're going to take a look at how to deploy the entire applications to GitHub to share it completely live with anyone and everyone. So this is going to be the future for rapid development. And if you're interested to explore all the features and all the tools that Google AI Studio offers, then this video is for you. So with that being said, if you're interested, let's get into it. All right, so to get started with Google AI Studio, first thing first, we're going to navigate to Google AI Studio here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Build tab. And here we have Start and Gallery. Gallery is basically where we can be able to view the existing applications that other people have built. For example, this Path Forward here, which I simply upload an image of myself, and basically it generates myself through the past decades. So you can see that's what it looks like. And we can also be able to go back to the start. And this is the gallery, which is what we have already explored. And here, if we were to click on start, this is where we're going to build our applications completely from scratch using the simple prompt here. So what I'm going to do here is here you can see that first thing first, we have the options to choose our model. So here we're going to choose the Gemini 2.5 Pro. There's also Gemini 2.5 Flash, but we're just going to stick to the default one for 2.5 Pro. And there's also the system prompt, which is basically the custom instructions that we want to provide for the AI model here, like a specific knowledge, the style, some constant variables we can be able to define here inside of our system instructions. And then there's also the templates. For example, we can use React, Angular, and for the building template in terms of our applications. And then there's also the microphone selector. In this case, I'm just going to use my microphone here to basically use that for the speech to text. So notice here that there's a speech to text functionality, which we don't have to type out our idea. We can simply just use the speech to text functionality here to transcribe our audio into text. So let's say we're trying to build a bank statement OCR system where it takes images, PDF files, and be able to extract those informations and put them into a CSV format, which contains transaction date, transaction title or descriptions, and the amount, as well as any notes about the transactions. So that's basically our app idea. I'm just going to have this to transcribe my audio. So this is what it looks like for the app idea. Simply what I usually do here is I will basically take this, refine this prompt using another large language model. For example, this is what I refine after I pass that to the large language model. Basically, the goal here is to build a bank statement OCRs tool, and we have defined the input as well as the output look like for the table schema. And here we're trying to use the Gemini 2.0 Flash version to extract all the transactions. And basically, these are some details. And if we were to scroll down here, there's also some features that we can add onto our applications, like third-party features like Nano Banana, which can be able to edit our image or be able to animate image with Veo, Google Search, Google Maps. There's also things like analyze images or be able to transcribe audios. These are all third-party features from Google that we can add onto our application. For example, in this case, we're just going to click on the analyze image here that we're going to select in terms of our prompt here. So in this case, what we're going to do here is we're going to click on build. And then here you can see that after with a couple of seconds, roughly a minute, you can see that this is what the full application looks like. So let's say if I were to click on the full screen here. So I have uploaded a PDF file already. And this is what all the information that has extracted from that PDF, like the date, descriptions, the amount, as well as the category that has labeled, and also notes on the additional notes, like for example, currency conversions, right? So things like that. And basically we have our application completely built. We can also change that and be able to view this in different device size. For example, we can view this in a mobile size. We can view this in a tablet size, right? So things like that, which is pretty cool. So text like this, I have manually changed that in the code. And let me show you how to do that. So here you can see this is the preview tab. And if you want to change anything on our applications, you can simply just click on the code editor here. And I have manually add a Eric tag here. So let's say if I want to remove this and click on save, here you can see that it's currently loading. And what's going to happen here is that if we were to click on the preview, and here you can see that we no longer have that text and with the Eric tag. Okay, so pretty much you can see that we can be able to use AI here to build a first version of our applications, and we can also be able to use our code editor here to edit anything inside of our application as well. And we can be able to view our applications with different sizes here. And let's say if we want to try to upload another file, for example, I'm just going to click on this, and here you can see that I have upload a PDF file here, and it's basically going to extract those informations using Gemini. Okay, so here's what the result look like after it extract those transactions. So notice here that these are all the transactions we have, and I have verified that these are all accurate, right? So total roughly around 40 results. So what I actually want to do here is I actually want to have this to be output in a certain format. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make additional change by using the speech to text instead of typing here. So I'm just going to say for the extracted transaction table, I want to show exactly how many amount is being spent in this transactions or in this transaction table, and be able to also see how many records we have for all the transactions, as well as the total spending and the total income from this statement here. So please be able to create this table or be able to create a section that shows this based on the calculation that we have inside of our table. So I'm just going to send this request, and let's see what it does here. So here you can see that this is what the prompt looked like. I'm just going to send this request and let Gemini here to basically build this. Awesome. So here is what the version 2 of the application looks like. So after it has done the revision, and this is basically we're trying to add a new summary section to give you a clear overview of the statement financial activity, which is the total transactions, total income, total spending, right? And then let's try to upload a file here to see what it looks like. Okay, so I have uploaded the same file here, and this is what the result look like. So we have our transaction summary and details. So basically we have 40 total transactions and total income and total spending. So here these are all spendings, right? So there is a green mark here, which is the income, and there's also another income here as well. Okay, so pretty accurate for the calculation. So what we're gonna do here is I'm also gonna copy this to CSV, and hopefully it should be able to translate that and output it into a Google Sheets. Okay, so I have basically created Google Sheets here. So now if I were to do the Command P, here you can see that this is what the format look like, which is not exactly what we want. So what we're gonna do here is I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. This is a Google Sheets. I'm just going to take a screenshot of this, come back to the AI Studio. I'm just gonna drag this image right here. And here I'm just gonna say, when I copy to the CSV using the copy to CSV button, here is what the format look like after I paste it. So can you be able to format the CSV format here to make it fit for all the columns and all the cells inside of our Google Sheets? So here I'm just going to let it generate the prompts. Basically, when I copy the CSV using the copy to CSV button, you can see that when I use the speech to text functionality, it actually even add quotation mark for things like copy to CSV button right here, right? And here is what the format looks like after I paste it. Can you be able to format the CSV format here to make it fit for all the columns and all the cells inside of a Google Sheets? So that's exactly what I said. Basically, it refines a bit more for the sentence. And here I'm just going to send the request for the prompts and let Gemini 2.5 Pro here to make this additional fix. All right, so here you can see that it claimed that it has updated the copy to CSV functionality. So let's try to test it out by uploading another PDF here. And here's what the result looks like after we upload another PDF. And let's try it out with the copy to CSV functionality. So I'm just gonna click on copy this. And here I'm just gonna navigate to Google Sheets, Control V. Here is what the format look like, so which is much more better compared to the last one, which you can see that we have each column here and formatted nicely. We have our descriptions, we have the amounts, and you can see there's categories, the notes, which is pretty cool, right? So let's try to add additional functionality, right? Let's try to really try to test to really add more functionality to see if it's able to handle that. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna say that please have the functionality where I can be able to upload more than one PDF or PNG or multiple image files or PDF files onto this to be able to analyze the entire bank statements. And I'm just going to let it generate the prompts. And here you can see that this is exactly what we want to add for the functionality. And let me submit this request and let Gemini here to build this whole thing. Okay, so here you can see that it supports multiple bank statements at once and get all the consolidated view is a powerful feature now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna upload multiple files here. And here you can see that I have uploaded 11 files here. Let's see what the application looks like and see if this application really crashes. All right, so unfortunately it did not crash. So this is what the result looked like. So we have our total transactions, total income, total spending, and this is what we have. So these are all the transactions which are sorted in the right order, which you can see that these are all the transactions we have, which is really cool. Out of my surprise, it's able to do it very accurately without any issues, which is really cool. We take it one step at a time. So you can see that for each feature that we have for the revisions, we really break down into small features to be able to refine the application step by step, right? So don't take it one big giant step, just take it multiple steps at a time. And you can see that I was able to get very accurate results for each revision revisions that I get. So notice here that there's also a way that you can be able to restore to the previous checkpoints. So let's say if you're not satisfied with any step in the way, you can always restore back to the checkpoint, previous checkpoint, and be able to go from there. Okay, so that's really cool. And here you can see that while it was loading, you can see I was able to take a screenshot of this, and basically the loading here is taking too long, and I have no idea if it's currently in a stale mode or how many files has been processed. So in this case, I'm just gonna say I want to implement a feature where it can be able to show how many files are currently pending, how many files are completed, instead of just showing a spinner. It should be able to be more interactive, where a user can be able to see exactly how many files has been processed or which files are still waiting for being processed. So I'm just going to send this prompt, and basically I can be able to have AI here to continue building here. So pretty much you can see that this is what it looks like, right? So we can continue to build our additional features on top of it. And notice here that there's also suggestions, right? So for example, there's also like add more transparent details, refine category detections, error handlings for file conversions. So if I were to add this here, you can see that it basically creates a nice prompt that I can use to basically have AI here to continue building on top of it. I always found that there's like a really cool AI suggestion saying that like adding filter for categories or dates, which was really cool. I think that it really knows exactly what this application is and basically give you suggestions on what are things that you can be able to further improve using the AI feature or in the AI suggestions, which is really cool, I find. So enough of the testing for the applications or building things. Let's try to see how we can be able to integrate it with our GitHub or how we can be able to deploy our application, right? So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to save to GitHub here, right, to make sure that we have a copy of this inside of our GitHub account. So I'm just going to click on save, and it's basically going to ask us to sign in with GitHub to continue. So here I'm just going to authenticate myself, and here I'm just going to grant us access to the repository to read and be able to commit the changes. Okay, so now you can see that we are redirected back to Google AI Studio, and we can just give it a name for AI for this project. And here I'm just going to say bank statement OCR system, and basically for the description, I'm just going to say an app that uses Gemini OCR to extract bank statements to CSV. And here I'm just gonna put it to public and create a Git repository here. So it's gonna sync the changes and create a repository. And let's see what it looks like after it creates the repository here. All right, so let's take a look at what are the changes we're gonna commit. So you can see we have our package.json. So there's no any environment variables we're gonna commit in this first changes, which is really good. But here you can see that Gemini also added a commit message here. Like this is the feature, right? These are the description details. And here's the details of what do we have for our commit. So here I'm just gonna stage and commit all the changes. Awesome, so here you can see that we have our repository created and all the changes are committed onto this repository here. So we have our README file, which is says generated by Google AI Studio. And here's how you can be able to run this, be able to view the applications, and how you can be able to do this locally by simply just getting the Gemini API key, right? And here is basically how you can be able to view the application. So I'm just gonna click on this and click on that tab, and you can be able to continue to build on top of it, right? And simply all we have to do here, just click on share app and make sure to click on publish, toggle on for the publish your app. And simply we can just click on this link here. And now let's say if I were to switch to a different Google account, here you can see that I navigated to the bank statement OCR application. And here, let's say if I were to re-upload another file here, and here you can see that it's gonna communicate with the current account Gemini, and it's going to be able to extract those information and output it here. All right, so as a result, this is what it looks like. So you can see that we have our application, which extract all the information here, output it onto the page. So pretty much that's how we can be able to use Gemini 2.5 Pro here to build our applications completely from scratch. So pretty much that's it for this video. Hopefully you found value in this video. If you do find value in this video, please make sure to like this video. Consider subscribe for more content like this. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.